Where's that? Like, can you talk? I want them.
That's Superman, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Maybe it was Superman.
I was just surprised. There's nothing going on over there. Except for the medical.
Rising.
They said Plaza 2 to the right.
Rising. I'm like, I got there.
Isn't that
I'm like, I'm leaving here.
That's not Boardwalk?
But then he's like, he's family.
I live in there too.
I don't know what this is.
California security will take the main one.
Wait, that tiger's albino? Are you sure those tigers are robots?
No, it's a real tiger.
A real tiger how attack people by look at a lion. Just kidding.
¿Te gusta esto?
that Walt Disney thought was so cute, he modeled Bambi after those fallow deer. He loved the white spots on their back and their big white belly, but he did not like their antlers, because if you notice, they're kind of flattened. So when he created Bambi, he used the fallow deer body, but he used our white-tailed deer antlers with the nice points on them. Llamas over here on the right in the water. They're also from South America, along with the rhea. Down in South America, they shave them, and they use that wool. There's about 4 different grades of wool in there. And they make everything from a fine cloth right up to a macrame rope. actually go to swallow. Watch.